In my last interview with Premier Wen in 2008, I asked him a question about the 1989 protests at Tiananmen Square and China's military response to those protests. Now, Chinese officials aren't accustomed to being asked about such controversial topics, but Wen Jiabao's answer was frank, saying that political reform had to go along with economic reforms. Since then, Wen Jiabao has done something even more unusual. He has praised in writing a man named Hu Yaobang. Now, this is important. Hu was General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party in the 1980s, known for his support for reform at a time when there were few political reformers in Chinese government. He tried to rehabilitate people who had been persecuted during the Cultural Revolution and was accommodating towards students and intellectuals demanding more freedoms. He was ousted in 1987 by hardliners for his laxness and liberalization. When Hu Yaobang died in 1989, throngs of students gathered in Tiananmen Square to mourn his death. That crowd was the origins of the protest in Tiananmen Square. They stayed for almost 2 months until the Chinese government sent in the tanks. Since then, Hu Yaobang's name has been erased from Chinese history until Wen Jiabao rehabilitated him. I asked Wen about that memoir he wrote and about political reform in China. You wrote an article about your old boss, Hu Yaobang, which I was very struck by. In it, you praised him. Do you think, in retrospect, that Hu Yaobang was a very good leader of China?
是的，我是公正评价。
Yes, I think I have given a fair assessment of the history of this person. He made his own contributions to China's reform and opening up. I want to make the following 3 points. First, he vigorously advanced the debate surrounding the criteria in judging what truth is, and through that, he has contributed to the effort of freeing people's minds. Second, irrespective of various resistance, he took steps to free a large number of officials and cadres who were wronged in the Cultural Revolution. And third, he himself took actions to advance China's reform and opening up.
You speak in your speeches about how China is not yet a strong and creative nation in terms of its economy. Can you be a strong and creative nation with so many restrictions on freedom of expression, with the internet being censored? Don't you need to open all that up if you want true creativity?
其实
I believe freedom of speech is indispensable for any country, a country in the course of development and a country that has become strong. Freedom of speech has been incorporated into the Chinese constitution.
其实你对中国的情况并不完全了解。
I don't think you know all about China on this point. In China, there are about 400 million internet users and 800 million mobile phone subscribers. They can access the internet to express their views, including critical views. I often log onto the internet, and I have read sharp critical comments on the work of the government on the internet, and also there are commendable words about the work of the government.
我经常讲一句话，
I often say that we should not only let people have the freedom of speech, we, more importantly, must create conditions to let them criticize the work of the government. It is only when there is the supervision and critical oversight from the people that the government will be in a position to do an even better job, and employees of government departments will be the true public servants of the people.
当然，所有这些
All these must be conducted within the range allowed by the Constitution and the laws,
一使国家有一个正常的秩序，
so that the country will have a normal order, and that is all the more necessary for such a large country as China with 1.3 billion people.
Premier Wen, since we are being honest, when I come to China and I try to use the internet, there are many sites that are blocked. It is difficult to get information. Any opinion that seems to challenge the political primacy of the party is not allowed. Hu Yaobang, for example, was not somebody who could be mentioned in the China Daily until your own article appeared. It just feels to me like all these restrictions, the vast apparatus that monitors the internet, are going to make it difficult for your people to truly be creative and to truly do what it seems you wish them to do.
I believe I and all the Chinese people have such a conviction that China will make continuous progress, and the people's wishes for and needs for democracy and freedom are irresistible. I hope that you will be able to gradually see the continuous progress of China.
You have given a series of very interesting speeches in the last few weeks, in the last few months. I was particularly struck by one you gave in Shenzhen, where you said, along with economic reform, we must keep doing political reform. This is a point you made in our last interview. But a lot of people I know in China, Chinese people, say there has been economic reform over the last 6 or 7 years, but there has not been much political reform. What do you say to people who listen to your speeches and they say, we love everything Wen Jiabao says, but we don't see the actions of political reform?
Actually, this is a viewpoint that was put forward by Mr. Deng Xiaoping a long time ago. And I think anyone who has a sense of responsibility for his country should have deep thinking about this topic and put what he believes into action. I have done some deeper thinking about this topic since we last met. My view is that a political party, after it becomes a ruling party, should be somewhat different from the one when it was struggling for power. The biggest difference should be that this political party should act in accordance with the Constitution and the law. The policies and propositions of a political party can be translated into parts of the Constitution and the laws through appropriate legal procedures. All political parties, organizations, and all people should abide by the Constitution and laws without any exception. They must all act in accordance with the Constitution and laws. I see that as a defining feature of modern political system development. I have summed up my political ideals into the following 4 sentences. To let everyone lead a happy life with dignity. To let everyone feel safe and secure. To let the society be one with equity and justice. And to let everyone have confidence in the future. In spite of the various discussions and views in the society, and in spite of some resistance, I will act in accordance with these ideals unswervingly and advance within the realm of my capabilities political restructuring. I would like to tell you the following 2 sentences to reinforce my case on this, or my view on this point. That is, I will not fall in spite of the strong wind and harsh rain, and I will not yield till the last day of my life.
Much more of my interview with Premier Wen Jiabao of China